Noah's Magic Ark is an interesting film. I didn't like it, but it does do something that no other version of Noah's Ark that I have seen has ever done, at least to my recollection. And I will talk more about that. So it gets brownie points for doing that, but ultimately I didn't like it. This was released in 1996. It's directed by Laura Shepard, written by Mark Shekter. There are no voice cast listings on IMDb at the moment, so if I find that information, I'll put that in the description. And it's the classic story of Noah building an ark, and the animals will go on 2 by 2, and all of the good ones will be saved. And that is the significant part. I'll come back to that in a moment. The animals talk, and I think I might have seen talking animal Noah's Arks before. That's not the most unique aspect. And Noah interacts with the animals, and yeah, that part of it was fine. I think my favourite Noah's Ark stories tend to be the ones where the animals don't talk. I have a bit of a pet peeve, and I know it's irrational, but I don't like it when animals talk in films when there are also human characters who talk. If they're all animals, absolutely fine. But humans and animals all talking, I don't like it. I don't know why. It's an irrational pet peeve. So I didn't like that aspect of it, but I don't love some of the messages. A lot of it focuses, of course, on Noah building the ark, but it also focuses on trying to get certain animals to be kind instead of being cruel. And I don't like this, but I kind of applaud it. Because an issue that I have with Noah's Ark, and I only really thought about this maybe last year, I was watching a specific version, I really can't remember which one it was, but I was watching a version of Noah's Ark and I found myself getting upset at this scene where the doors to the ark shut and all of these animals, these innocent, beautiful creatures, are left outside, presumably to be killed in the flood. And it really made me upset, and it really made me think about how innocent creatures are being killed when they've done nothing wrong. But here we have animals being cruel and evil and nasty, and they're the ones who are going to be left behind. So I kind of give it brownie points for taking that approach and kind of saying, actually, if they're not going on the ark, it's because they're not well behaved. But at the same time, I don't like the idea of putting that kind of quality onto an animal. Can an animal be evil? I think it's up to debate. I think that animals, when they're doing something that appears vicious, it's because of their instinct. For example, a lion tearing apart a gazelle. It seems absolutely horrible, but if they don't, they're not going to eat and they're going to die. So I don't know, I wasn't comfortable with that. Again, had it been just animals and no humans, I would have been okay with that. Not necessarily within the story of Noah's Ark, but in general, if animals are representing humans in a cartoon and there are morals and messages about kindness and goodness, that's fine. But not in this film. It didn't work well for me at all. I don't like the messages. I don't like the treatment of a lot of the animals. But as I said, in a way, it was a pleasant surprise because it meant I was no longer feeling sorry for all of the good, kind animals because they were going to be saved. So I don't really like it, but they do get brownie points for doing something a little bit different. The voice is absolutely fine. The animation is absolutely fine. Quite a really good variety in the animals, in the species as well, which I thought was a nice idea. So the music is good as well. I'd say it's fine for older viewers. If I had a child, I would not show this to that child. So I don't recommend it. But if you're an older viewer and you want to see what it's like, or if you like watching different versions of Noah's Ark, give it a go if you're curious. But apart from the fact that it gets credit for doing something a little different, said something a little different is something that I actually found to be really awkward and uncomfortable, and ultimately I just didn't like it.